myself, Professor Eucharia Oluchi Nwaichi, BSc, MSc, PhD. She is the first and only African to win the prestigious John Magnus Prize in 2022. He is a professor of environmental biochemistry and toxicology at the University of Port Harcourt, Nigeria. And he is the director of academic planning and research and control of same university. Eucharia, the vice chair of Organization for Women in Science. Eucharia, the vice chair of Organization for Women in Science in the Developing World, OWSD Nigeria, is passionate about mentoring and understanding the quality of soil, water, air, and its environment in order to protect it and improve the quality of life. She has a patent for a biological remedial technology. It's not easy to have a patent. Please give her a wonderful round of applause. If you understand what the patent is, you will know it's no good things. She is a great science communicator who is poised with influencing policies with her collected evidence and increasing the space for women and girls in science. Her fundamental, said ask Google, her fundamental recognitions and awards make her a great influence in science. She has published her works in over 97 reputable journals and has well-rated books and book chapters, and has received numerous and diverse awards, grants, honors, and recognitions for her several interventions to improve life and well-being. Professor Eucharia Oluchi Nwaichi is well-traveled. As I earlier said, she holds BSc, MSc, and PhD in environmental biochemistry of the University of Port Harcourt, and her postdoctoral experiences in Poland, England, and the United States of America. And she's currently a visiting professor in Spain. I humbly present to you our erudite speaker and professor of reputable standing, Professor Eucharia Oluchi Nwaichi, to give us the talk.
Thank you for this kind introduction. MC, I am the MC of this occasion. Thank you so much. Distinguished guests, audience today, I have two topics given to me to handle by the programs. You will find two topics. By reflecting over it, I have decided to merge the two into one because they are interrelated if you look at them. So this is a new topic. Maximizing grant success, strategies for crafting award-winning proposals and navigating funding opportunities in academia. So I understand that my audience today are from the academia. So we're going to be restricting our context to academia. So you'll be having one topic instead of two topics. But be very comfortable and assured that we're going to cover the horizon. And then I would like to come from your discussion points and the questions to give more flesh to what we're talking about. We don't have a lot of time to do self-assessment in this group today. When we do proposal writing as a course, that's not what we're doing today. We are doing maximizing your chances of writing and winning grants. That's what we're doing. We're not doing the writing of the proposal. Otherwise, we have it like a week to set them and follow what we do. Maybe in the future, the management of this institution may consider it wise that we come back and spend a couple of days together so we can begin the journey and also evaluate ourselves as we go. So I'd like to show the objectives for which we will embark on this journey, which is One, to see that the participants, all of us here today, will gain comprehensive understanding today of what workmanship and proposals will stand to give us. Could you take a look? Yeah, the essential elements that you need to have a successful outing with writing grant proposals. And then get practical tips, practical from real world experiences that will help you to identify grants, help you to apply for grants, and help you secure the funding to get your career rolling. And then you will also get insights into navigating the grant application processes, which is quite universal. So to navigate through the process to either winning or losing, because those are the two destinations. If you make an application, you either lose or you win. Then we have some helpful resources and tools that will help in supporting the writing and the entire endeavor as a researcher in academia. This is what we plan to achieve today in our journey. This is not working very well, I hope. Okay. So the outline, maybe battery is weak, but not to worry about it. So this outline, we make introduction to grant funding, crafting award-winning grant proposals, identifying the opportunities for funding, navigating the process, and how to maximize success in grant writing. So, in the introduction, I would like us to, this is not, it doesn't work, so maybe you control from there. So, as a way of introduction, I would like to know your knowledge, or test your knowledge for grants. What is a grant, and what is a proposal? I'm not defining that because it's elementary to what we're doing, but I just want to know that my audience understand what a grant is and what a proposal is. So can someone volunteer to tell me their understanding of what a grant is? What is a grant? If you ask what is a grant, what can you say?
There are different grants that are awarded by different organizations. And the baseline there is they will publish to sponsor research. The organization will, for instance, Federal Academy of Science and others, they will publish to sponsor a research in a particular area.
So what is that? What is it? You say to sponsor research, so what is it?
Research grants.
Yeah, what is that grant?
It's academic. The ones I wrote and the ones I won, the academic grants. In my own field in reproductive pharmacology. Then it's competitive. You will write, others will write, but they will give you criteria for that application. And at the end, compete with others.
Okay. Thank you so much. And let's give him a mosquito clap. Mosquito! You do not know how to kill mosquitoes. You're all Africans. So when I say mosquito, you just kill it. Mosquito! Beautiful. So let's hear another person who wants to contribute. Okay, you shut up.
Well, the grant is any resources, be it finance, material, or personnel that is given for the purpose of conducting researches, mostly in the academic setting.
Thank you so much. Any other one? Any other? Okay. So from the two, I want to stand in between what they said. He brought out more what the grant will be. Our participants here try to project more of the application of the grant. I wanted to know the meaning of grant. So in this context, grant would be money, will be funds. But he defined it in some way that also will not be out of place, because if we're writing a proposal, so the proposal is not only for money. Proposal would constitute driving for money, for other resources that could be human resources, or infrastructure. So that's what he defined. But when we are driving grantsmanship, we are focusing on money, on funds. So grants in this context will be the fund that an individual or an organization can harvest from organization or also individual like philanthropists to be able to carry out intended projects or research. So it mustn't be research, it can be a project. Yeah, it mustn't be a research, it can be project. Now we have implementation science. So it mustn't be a research, it can be a project. This is what grant is. And again, the proposal will be a sales tool. When we say what is a proposal, so it's an intention you put forth, okay, to make acquisition of either human resources, either material, either infrastructure to support intended project or research. So you can see that there is an intent. You don't sit down and money is tossed onto you, you start thinking about what do I do with this money. Like a lot of us want to get TED fund grant and we don't have a plan. So you just want the DAP to put your name there. Help me put my name there, I want to. Someone came to ask me the other day as the DAP in Uniport, can I put their name? If I should get a postdoc grant, how much will it be? I say it depends on what you want to do. He doesn't have what he wants to do. He's only driven by how much he can get from the TED fund. So this is not what grantsmanship is about. So grantsmanship is the act of acquiring peer-reviewed grants. So if it's not peer-reviewed, it's not grantsmanship. Because you can have money that is given to you without being peer-reviewed. Your uncle can give you money to carry out a research. Your head of department can decide to give to you as the best graduating student. So those are not grants because they are not peer-reviewed. We want to think about, he talked about competitiveness. So you competed for it. So that's the peer-reviewed. So it's only when it's peer-reviewed that we say this is the grantsmanship, the art of grantsmanship. So in this my beautiful opening image, we have the creative writing course has been an invaluable asset in grant writing application. Creative writing. So you have to think about being creative. How do you see yourself presenting your idea to the next person, to another organization, to look at what you plan to do? So you answer the question of what, why, and how. Those are the 3 questions. If you fail to answer any of these questions, you have failed to communicate in that act of writing for grants. So what is hovering around your topic? What? What do you want to do? The topic. So the topic can now be extended to the background, to the justification for doing. Those are all what? Then why? You bring the problem statement. You present the problem, why you were moved to action. Why? What is the magnitude? Most times we justify based on magnitude. 70% of women who are pregnant are exposed to XYZ. So this is the magnitude. So you can look at magnitude. You can put context, geographical location. In Nigeria, maybe the south or the southeast or all the eastern nations in the world are exposed to XYZ or something. That's how you put the magnitude of the problem. Make the magnitude big. If it's small, make it big. If it's big, keep it big. Yeah, so if it's not big, why should I care? Significance of that project that you want to do or that research that you want to do. So you answer the what question. Then you answer the what, and then you head into how. How do I do it? So what, why, and how. So how will be the methodology, the approach through which you go on this journey. The approach is very important. If you want to actualize training all the women in River State, and your approach does not show inclusivity of the women and does not show a mastery of knowledge of River State, nobody gives you the money in that competitive manner that the grantsmanship goes to. Many people will out-edge you. So you want to be sure that your how is very good. That's how you go about it. I remember that when you're writing the executive summary, you're also going to touch these three components: the what, the why, and the how. The executive summary is somewhat like an abstract that we write in our papers, our scientific papers, our research articles. So in research articles, someone can be sleeping in my class. I don't believe I'm a dull person. Hello, hello, hello. Touch it. Hello. Now we clap mosquito. Very good. So I don't believe I'm a boring teacher. So please sleep in my class. If you're very tired, maybe you stand, go to the back there, stand a bit, walk you out, and then come back to the seat. Thank you. So if you're writing an executive summary, which I said is a semblance of abstract, in a research article, a work that we have completely done, an abstract would be what was done, how it was done, and what the findings were. So in executive summary, which goes with a proposal, you have what will be done, how it will be done, and expected result, which is the output and outcome. Expected result. So the output will be those activities that you will do. Immediately you find them done at the end of the project. Then the outcome will be the long-term result of that project of yours. That's what you do with that. So some organizations will also retain the word abstract instead of executive summary. So it doesn't matter. When you find abstract in a proposal, just have in mind that you're writing the executive summary, which is what will be done, how it will be done, and expected outcome. So tying into significance why the work should be done. So think about that. So I want to say that grant funding plays a very important role in driving innovation that we want to see things done different ways, adding innovation out of the ordinariness. So innovation, we want to see innovation driven, we want to see advancement of knowledge, and then excellence of academic practice across fields. How do we do this without money, without resources, either human resources, financial resources, or material resources? How can you do that? So if I display photographs of me in my laboratory in the University of Port Harcourt, maybe during my undergraduate degrees or the master's degree, and my research overseas, you will see the difference. Because when you have funding, you are not limited. You can experiment that may not be precise. You waste reagents. You can waste some day because you've got some money. And this is how real innovation is vetted. This is how you can break through, because you are not very constrained by fund, by materials. Before you set out on a journey overseas or to another university or even in yours, the funder has made provision for your supervisor. So your supervisor has some allowance to mentor you, to guide you. So that way you have someone who is bound to respond to your overwhelming questions. Unlike the regular research that you do, you only beg it. Excuse me, ma'am, please can you say I'm busy? Excuse me, sir, please can you? I'm busy. But the grants have put money in their pocket and they are bound to help you. So that's why we say if you want innovation, want knowledge advancement, and want academic excellence, grants need to come in. So that's why all of us must learn the art of grantsmanship. So if you understand then the significance of grants and scholarship, because you also have scholarship, money is scholarship that pays your tuition to go somewhere and study. Some of us are having local scholarships, and some of them are having the foreign scholarships. that are taking them outside of the country and they are studying with a lot of money. So they give you like 7 million, 11 million, now 17 million, 23 million, 30 million to go study for master's degree. For PhD, it's even much more than that. So imagine your master's degree here, maybe everything you spend to have a master's degree, maybe less than $1 million naira. And then imagine you're giving 17 million for master's degree. It's not the same. So you're going to be more serious, more committed, and when you have imagination, when the thoughts come in the night, you want to experiment them because you have money that if they don't work, you still have money to try it the next day. Unlike when you're trying to predetermine what will happen, the outcome of your thoughts. So you block thoughts that may have baited innovation when you don't have money. Why are they indispensable? I've said that they are indispensable already. The grants, they are indispensable. So why? So if you look at the number one, I said they fear research endeavors. How? They enable researchers to pursue ambitious projects that require substantial resources. I was explaining that earlier. So it fuels your endeavors. I have money in my pocket. I don't need to worry so much. Some students get into doing businesses. I have students who sold recharge cards, students who made different kinds of snacks and supply before they went to school to find money to support, pay. Especially in Nigeria, you pay for a lot of things. After your tuition, you keep paying, bring this for seminar, bring this for days, and keep bringing. So, but if you have research grants or scholarship, you're going to be challenged, and the innovation will be better as your endeavors appeal. Then financial support for grad students and postdoc scholars, allowing them to focus on their studies and contribute to groundbreaking research. When I had my first postdoc in Poland, I was given $20,000. So you can imagine $20,000, it wasn't as valuable as it is now, I mean, in terms of conversion to our local currency. But then I got into a lab that was very, very robust with their resources, material resources. And as a postdoc, they also gave me the opportunity to teach. So I taught and earned money. So I taught 2 modules to their grad students and earned money. So I paid like 3,000 euros. So that's also different from my $20,000. So I did have some reagents. I didn't have to buy it again. So they only told me what we don't have, you buy. And eventually I didn't buy any, they had all. So the $20,000 was just for me. So you can imagine that. And they bought me flight ticket outside my $20,000. So you relax. From there, I went to present my papers from Poland. I went to Czech Republic. I presented my paper. From there, I went to the US, presented my paper. So I was experimenting and also sponsor some of my research with my grad students here in Nigeria. Okay? So you see that it can fuel your research endeavors. And I extended the frontiers of my research. I exceeded my scope because I had some money to play around with. This is what we do with scholarship. Advancing knowledge and innovation. If you see researches that are funded, you see that discoveries are made and technologies are advanced. It was from my postdoc, my first postdoc, that I had the patent that he talked about in my introduction. So it makes you to have some technological advancement and breakthroughs because you're pushing boundaries of understanding. You're having, my supervisor was a microbiologist, an environmental microbiologist, I'm a biochemist, and we had a physicist who also was helping us to study motion of bacteria in the soil. So we have a lot of people, layers of people who can come in an interdisciplinary fashion, and you see more meaning will be ascribed from what you are doing. So that was funded and good for you. Scholarship nurture the next generation of scholars and scientists, the next generation. So I have a lot of students, one in the US now, so she never had a master's degree, but as we got a scholarship, we applied for masters and they looked at her narrative and they told her, you're very good. you can't be put in masters. We want to offer you PhD admission. And we're very excited. We accepted, and she had gone. So now she finished her coursework, and she started research now. So you can see those are the next generation of scientists who are well equipped from the world starts. So it's really equipped the next generation, so we can't afford not to put grants on the ground. So creativity, through mentorship, hands-on. So she has a lot of money. If I had told her that I was in Los Angeles last week, maybe she would have flown to meet me, but I didn't tell her. I returned before I told her that I was in the US. Okay? So she has some money that she can sign from her project to say, let me travel to go meet my mentor and have a discussion around what I am doing and what I want to do next. So grants can make provision for that. Scholarship provides for that, but depending on the scope of the scholarship. So we have to watch out for that. So we say the third one is that enhancing academic impact. So successful grant outcomes will lead to publications in reputable places. So if you look at from in my trajectory, academic trajectory, you see from my postdoc, when I started having foreign funding, you see also my publication records ramped up to more reputable places that I published. I wasn't published in Predatory Journal because I came from the industry before university, so I already knew where I want to publish. But you can pay for some good journals. Like in Poland, we paid for a journal for 3,500 euros, one paper, yeah? Because the money was there in the grant, so it's just for us to get it accepted. So if you have a grant, you can actually get your dream to happen within a second. Here we always pressing money. If a journal is charging 30,000 naira here in Nigeria, you say it's expensive. You're looking for the next one. But there are a lot of journals that are free. Some Elsevier journals are free, some Springer journals are free, but most of them will be free for abstract. So the page behind the walls will be for the full content of the paper. So you decide what you want, whether you want your readers to pay for reading. So that means you can open only the abstract, it attracts people, and then they pay to read the content or to access the content. So it depends on what we want. It can be also complete open access model where you pay and they have free. They download free and they can read free of charge. So with funding, we can have this happen. So if you have funding and you don't publish eventually, your funders are going to be very mad at you, especially when you committed to publishing works in reputable places. So as you start x-raying the titles of your paper, depending on the skill of that work. So you can decide. So for my postdoc, I had a patent, I had publications like 4. For my PhD, I had 6 publications. I had local scholarship for my PhD from PTBA. Okay, so that's also peer reviewed because I competed for it. We had the initial stage and we went to Abuja for interview for the next stage, PhD scholarship, local scholarship. So you can also have local scholarship and they support you. I had a computer from PTBA for that scholarship. So those are also resources that we can win from competing for a grant. So we also say here in the second point that the support academic achievement, attracting talented students, and again contributing to vibrant intellectual community. We want the reputation of universities like yours to grow. If you institute scholarships and grants, you can make your reputation grow. Because if you have funding, you open it for people to apply, and then you can choose the people who are talented to take it up. But if you don't have funding, everybody comes in to play with what they can afford. So you struggle all through. So if you want your institution to grow in geometric size, you would like to institute some funding or meet philanthropists to come to your university and institute scholarships and some grants. Graduate school, if they're making money, can also institute graduate school funding for grad students. That way they compete and you get the talents, you get them wired and filled to reaching their goals. And that way everybody grows. It's a geometric growth. As I'm growing, my institution is growing, Nigeria is growing. When I won the John Meadows Prize in the UK, so the first African to win it, the first Nigerian to win it. So as they're introducing me, they're introducing Africa, they're introducing Nigeria, they're introducing University of Port Harcourt. So it's a ripple effect. So sometimes we are closed, that we want to be very selfish, we don't want to get it. Oh, how will my institution benefit? It's a lot. Because if the institution is ranked well, so when they also are questioning resources, trying to make a hub where things will happen, they can choose us as a hub because our reputation has grown. So we should strive to support our scholars by instituting our funding, scholarships, and grants. How do you look at types of funding available to academicians? There are government funding, there are private funding, and there are corporate funding. So the government funding includes those like the NIH, that's in the US, the National Institute of Health is very popular because they give big money. I've been trying to win this one, but I haven't sent any application. So each time I see the call, before I assemble my team, the call I goes, and I've been very busy since I've been saying it, but maybe I will do collaboration with people in the US. Now that's my next strategy to see that I can win it. It's very big money, and it's very difficult to manage because they stress you a lot. You travel a lot to go and defend what you've done in the milestone. So very big, the government grant. We have the National Science Foundation, NSF, also in the US. You have the TED fund I mentioned before. TED fund is gradually becoming a peer-reviewed funding. It wasn't peer-reviewed many years ago, not many years ago, in the recent past. It was who you know the PhD, you know the vice chancellor, they put your name there and you get it. But now, it hasn't got there yet. But now it's beginning to take shape because they're setting boards committees at the level of the Abuja at the national. So they're trying to get it better to what we want it to be, that everybody have equal opportunity to compete for it and then win. So Nigeria as a nation can have great researches that are funded, and then it can help to move us to our mission, hoping that we have one. So you also have the European Research Council in Europe. It funds a lot of researches all around Europe, including the UK. We also have programs and initiatives focusing on research that the countries are aligning their interest with. When the president comes in, he has the areas he's interested in, so they can have programs that can address those areas. So you have such government funded programs. The federal government scholarship. I once attended the interview for federal government scholarship. I was told I was the best, but I never got it. We were supposed to get it and go overseas. That when I was PhD. So I went to Abuja for the interview and I took the contact of somebody there, and they told me that I was the best in my faculty, because we're blocked in faculty. I was in faculty of environmental science, and I was the best. And they said they would take 3 in each of the faculties, but lo and behold, I didn't get it, Nigerian faculty. So when I called the person, he said, come to Abuja, come to do what? I will pay your flight tickets, I will pay your hotel, don't worry, just come. Come to do what? I want to know when you are awarded the scholarship, the grants to go overseas, and they said, and he ended that way. So that we don't lose heart because of such experiences, we keep going. Like we say, competitive, so we have to be persevering. We have to persevere always, showing confidence that we have a goal, that we're getting there. So private foundations and non-profit organizations. So we have private foundations like Bill and Melinda Gates, we have Bill Packard, we have a lot of people, private people, who are giving money to support research. One thing is that they support researches that are aligning with their mission and objectives. So if you apply for such research, make sure that your research is aligning with the mission of such organization, with the objectives. You have to read. Read about the organization, read about their mission, read about the objective, and make sure that your research is aligning with such mission. If it doesn't align, then you don't need wasting your time, your energy, your money, because you're not going to be funded. Because there's no free money anywhere. You can be sure that you are helping the funder to to meet their own goal. That's how they give you the money. So you come to play with them to get to their destination. So when they identify you in your proposal, which I said is a sales tool, it's a sales tool. Like we say, will you marry me? It's a proposal. That's the same way we are asking the funders, will you marry me? So you put out your cards, how beautiful and handsome you are, how you got a job that can sustain life. That's how you put out this, the what, the why, and the how. And then funders can put money on you. So if you're not in any way in their mission, when they open it up, they won't fund you. So you have to be sure that you align with their mission. So the corporate people, the industry, they also fund you when your project will align with their business interests. I have a research grant that is current now from BW Offshore. So this is a corporate funding. So because they are oil company and I research in the environment, so what I'm researching aligns with their mission and objectives. So they have given me the money after assessing and interviewing me and my team, my PhD students. Although I'm the PI, because they said the PhD student cannot be a PI. Yeah, so after the interview, initially my PhD student was the PI. Then when we went for interview in Lagos, so they changed the PI to me. So now I'm the PI, but it's for my PhD student. So they gave us the money because our research has alignment with their business interests, which is the environment, the pollution coming from the oil activity, the exploration activities. So they have given us the money. So academic institutions and also internal funding programs, academic institutions, I mentioned that graduate school can give out a grant, and university can give. The grants, I did mention that grants can also be for travel. Because I want to make research, I want to disseminate research. So if you just finish researching and you can't disseminate, it's not complete in its end. So I want to see that what research we have done have been disseminated to the appropriate quarters. So also travel grants are grants. Like as I went to the US, I got just little grant, it wasn't full. So it was partial grant, so that's also a grant. So that was unsolicited because there was no call. I wrote them that in case you have excess money from your funders, I would need money. Yes, that's how I've grown in my grantsmanship. I can identify people who have interest or mine aligns with theirs, I write them. So we call that unsolicited grant application. Nobody made a call and you identified. You can write for audience. You go there, sit down with them and convince them that you have a solution to their problems. You tell them about their problems and tell them how you can come in. You can convince them and they put money on you. So I have done that before and I'm doing it. So you can also try that. Sometimes you don't find a call that aligns with you, so you can make unsolicited. So all academic institutions can have internal funding, and also the grants can support pilot studies that are not for big. The ones institutions give are always small, so they are not for the big projects. So just pilots that can help you to focus well. Preliminary data collection, collaborative research efforts. Like we had a pilot, we wanted to apply for what's the name of this foundation, and not build, maybe when it comes to my brain I'll tell you, but it's a very big one. They don't support individuals, only institutions. So we wanted to apply at the University of Port Harcourt under the 8th Vice Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt. So he formed a committee, a university proposal committee. I was a member, so I was driving that project. So we wanted to do a proposal around Andoni community, Ataba. So we now got funding from the university to do a pilot. So we went to Andoni and we had stakeholders with the Navy. Navy provided us with boats, and we had the communities also providing their local boats and their own vigilante, because the place was high risk as assessed. And then we went around the communities to do a reconnaissance survey. We had meetings at their town hall, were received and treated in the best way they can receive the big guests. And we had agreements on everything. Even the health centers, we had their meeting. In our team also from the University of Port Harcourt, we had our physicians from the teaching hospital who were in our team. We had the social scientists like Professor Mom and all of that. So to do the social science has been was a very big project we wanted to do. MacArthur Foundation, and yes, that's the one. So we're supposed to get $100 million US. But unfortunately, we submitted a minute after deadline. So after all the effort and the money invested put in us, we submitted a minute after deadline. So we're not considered. So we didn't get opportunity to be considered, not to talk of winning. So I told us that a lot of things happen with grantsmanship. So we have to really sit up. I've associated terminology that you need to be very familiar with if you want to write grants and you want to succeed in your grantsmanship. Beneficiary, who are the beneficiaries? Those who benefit from the project. Like in that project that we wanted to put out, we are still trying to find new fund that we can take. It's a big project, so we can't submit to any small funder. So the beneficiaries are going to be Ataba people, the Angeli community, River State community, like going to be a CSR, the community project we can do as a social responsibility with the River State. Okay, so we have to find who the beneficiaries are. So when they ask you beneficiaries, those who will benefit from the project. Sometimes you can have direct beneficiaries and indirect beneficiaries. So you also want to know about the capital cost. So what is your capital cost when you're doing the budgeting? You know that they're talking about items, equipment that you need to buy, items, equipment that you need to build, or you want to repair. Engineers, most times they're building, they're fabricating, or they're repairing old ones to ramp up, like the BW offshore funded project we're doing. We are repairing because our lab, we're using Nostra lab, so it's a triple helix form of project. So Nostra has provided us with their laboratory, that's what we're doing it. So we repair the equipment in their lab to get it to what we want. So you can repair. So those are capital costs in your budget. So you also have monitoring. You always hear M&E. So M&E is fashionable, monitoring and evaluation. So what does it mean? So you can separate it, but sometimes you see that they are inseparable. That's why we say M&E. But you can actually know the differences before you join them together. Their monitoring is ongoing. What to do, you keep track of your activities to see that you take corrective action before they destroy your project. If you're doing monitoring, you'll be able to catch up with something not going well. You can now optimize to see that they start going well. That's what we do with monitoring. So you can have registering of participants. So if you do that, how many people coming to if you're having a week-long training, that's a project, you're monitoring. You put attendance register each morning, so it helps you to know whether all of the people you're expecting are coming or not. So that if day one, you expected 20 and 15K, and day 2, 12. So you know that you can, day 3, change strategy to see that they all come out. So that is monitoring, because it happens to help you put in corrective measures to have your project successful. Evaluation will be to see that effect on the target population that you would like to see is active. So you have, after you finish your project, you want to see that effect. What is the effect? If I want to see the well-being of the people, possibly, welcome, sir. So glad to have you here. Okay, so if you want to see the impact, like if we had done the project we wanted to do with the Akaba people, fortunately, Pastor Julia was in that team that I described. So if you want to see changes, maybe economic, socio-economic changes, so and you see that the changes actually happen, so that you have done evaluation. Okay, so because they are so close, we now put them together as M&E, monitoring and evaluation. And if you submit any proposal that doesn't have M&E, it's not going to sell, because you cannot convince them that project can be successful. M&E is a very critical component of every project that you want to do. So always have your M&E in your project. Then evidences. When you are submitting, we're gathering evidences for that project. A big project needs to show evidence to win it. Small projects can be potential. Okay? So, but big project, evidence, we have done it before. Now we want to go higher. So you showcase what you have done before. They can constitute in photographs. They can constitute in receipts or payments of something. So these are evidences that can show that we have done it. And also when you're writing reports of your proposals that you have carried out after winning it, you also need to show evidence. As we're here now, you take photographs while people are listening to me. You put it so that's evidence that event happened. You show me speaking, evidence that event happened. You go there, attendance register, you scan all of them, that's evidence that people came. So these are evidences that we can connect. Maybe we went to radio to talk about this project. So we also record some minutes of the recording. We can also send to our funders as evidence that we actually went to radio. If we say we want to, in our publicity, we want to talk to people through the radio or through the television. So you have to get clips of those. So you can't start project and you forget. If you need camera, put it there that you need camera. I bought camera in my project in 2020. So I said I needed camera because I need to show evidence. And if I don't have camera, what do? I have camera anyway, but I wanted a better camera. So I put there that I need camera and it was approved. So I bought camera. So when I needed to talk to community, I talked about a public address system. So I put it there, I need public address system because I was talking to community, women group, men group, youth group, children group, so I need them to hear me so I don't shout. So they approved it, I bought the public address system. So think about what you need. When they evaluate, they see that this person is ready. You have a mental travel of the project from the one to the end. And when you show the timeline, that the timeline is realistic. So it's not a project that you need to actualize in 1 year, you write in 6 months, 5 months. They know you're not ready, you're not the right person for the job. And also the formation of your team is very important. Do not put people's name to favor them. My sister, my brother, my friend, my classmate, my supervisor, my mentor, my mentee. There is no need for guest entry for your PI or your eyes. Eyes are the investigators, PIs are the principal investigators. You can have co-PI where two people will play that role. So one is the principal investigator PI, one is the co-PI who is assisting the PI. They take decisions and the work is so enormous. So they have to be paid a lot of money. So if you get it, they have a percentage that they get from the total cost of the proposal. And if you don't put such monies to them, you will not win the proposal because they know you also do not understand what a PI does. If a PI calls all the meetings, he has a lot of mental job that he or she does. They think about the project all the time. So you, who is an investigator, maybe then you're a statistician, is when they bring data to you that you start analyzing. But somebody is thinking about the data, we need to meet up with deadline. We need to have very good data. I need to check with this person that the last data we get, they have started working on it. I need to ensure that first quarter report will go out. Who is doing what, who is not doing what. Those photographs we save, that they in the computer save, in what mode are they? So someone is doing all of that. Those are the PIs. So because they do a lot of facilitations and supervisory rules, they are given much bigger money than the investigators. So when you're in a project team and you have the PI having big money, do not frown that they are not considering you. They're giving you $50 and they're taking $450 or $400. It's the work that they do and it's accepted and in the public space. So we also would like to see match funding. Sometimes the funders want to see whether you have some of that funding. Match funding is that funding that supports part of the project. So a funder may give you part of the money that I'm unable to give you another. So if, for example, a funder says they will not pay salary, of investigators. So you need to show match funding. Maybe based on what is paying my salary, and maybe another person is paying allowance or no revenue. So I'll be able to do what they want me to do without sharp practices. See, there is no match funding, they are not going to give you money. So if you read the criteria and you find that they want match funding, you have to find the match funding. Otherwise, the project will not be approved. You may have to misappropriate, use their money for the other ones. So they want to see that you complement theirs with the other one, which is the match content. So you find it, otherwise you jump and pass, as we say in our local parlance. So output, I mentioned earlier, that output actually the immediate results, what you achieve. If we finish and we train 500 persons, that's our output. So you have trained 500 persons, output. But what is the outcome? Outcome is the enduring result, the long-term result. So increase awareness, that is an outcome. Increase awareness is not immediate. So from teaching number of persons, they now become knowledgeable or aware of something. Improve security cannot be an output, it's an outcome because it's long term. By the time you put policemen on the road, create checkpoints, what you have done is an output because it's immediate result. So by doing those, what you harvest in the long term improves safety and security of the people in the community. So that becomes an outcome. So know the differences so you don't mix them up when you're writing your proposals. So they ask you what are the outputs and what are the outcomes. So you also want to know the indicators. They ask you for the indicators in some of the proposals. You also need to put it even if you're not asked. Indicators are things that you measure to know whether you are achieving your outcomes. Things that you measure. So what do you measure? If you want to train people, what do you measure? So you can measure the number of persons that you train. If you're measuring, if you're achieving diversity, so you can measure the diversity composition of the people. So those are the things that you can measure to know whether the outcome will be achieved. So these are indicators. So you mentioned the indicators. So sometimes we call them the KPIs. The key performance indicators, they are all indicators. So they help you to show performance, that you have performed what you plan to perform. So take your time to find the indicators. What are the indicators in this project that if I measure them, they will give me an estimation of my performance in that project. Then qualitative data, of course you know that this has to do with a feeling experience about people. So qualitative data, people are happy, they are not happy, those are qualitative data, they are not quantitative, we cannot count it in naira and kobo, in milligram per milligram per liter, milligram per meal. Those are quantitative because we can count them. So these are the ones that are harvested from thinking people's thoughts. People think that government is not doing well, they think that the vice chancellor is not doing well. These are results, but they are qualitative because they are harvested from people's thinking, from people's emotions, from people's experiences. Yeah, so you have your results in qualitative and quantitative. So when you're expressing your data, you know whether they are bar charts, line graphs, heat maps, you know what will represent the data. So you can't use the one for qualitative or quantitative, you may not bring out the inputs of the data you have harvested. So that's why you need to understand this. Revenue costs also, you need to know about it because it's talking about what you have to pay that are not physical objects or buildings. So if you're paying salaries of people, they will be under revenue costs. If you're paying honorarium, if you're hiring a hall, you're not buying that building, it's a space that you're paying for. So it also will go to the revenue cost. So when you're budgeting, know, and they say what is the capital cost, know what they're looking for, what the revenue cost, know what they're looking for. So it's very important in writing your budget. If you're crafting the award-winning grant proposals, what are the considerations that you need to do? You need to understand the funding landscape. By researching specific agencies, I said that, I just brought them out so you can see them at a glance. You have to research about them. If you're going to be funded, let's say by a world head organization, and your project is to institute a dance. So you want to harvest people in the community and teach them a dance or whatever. So that is your project. And who is funding? World head organization. They are receiving your proposal. You know their mission. They want to improve people's health and fitness so we can live long. So you have to now focus on the health benefit of dancing. Okay? As we're exercising, we're losing some, and then we are getting healthier and we're getting fit. So you focus that. If the people who are funding you, for example, like UNESCO, they are interested in culture. So you now have to focus on the cultural import of the dance, how the dance will help you preserve the people's culture. Yeah? If people who are going to fund you are people who are interested in arts, so you now can focus on the arts of dancing. So that's what you need to do. We said initially it's creative writing. So you have to be creative. Read about the funder, don't just start writing. When you see a grant, read a little bit about the funder. That helps you to know where to focus, because every project can be focused in multi-dimensions. Every project you mention to me, I can take it this way, take it that way, or the other way. So depending on the funder's criteria, the mission of the funder, you also be able to do that. So their priorities, the previous grant they have awarded, what kind of grants do they award? So it's important to do that. Tailor your proposal to align with the objectives, and then clear and compelling project description. Because I said it's a tool for sale. Proposal is a sales tool. You have to be compelling. Like if you really have no choice but to just give it. So we submitting abstract for Triple Headers Conference in Brazil for June last night. So I called my PhD student and revised the abstract she wrote, and I put on a Zoom meeting, and then I shared my screen and we read what I revised it to be. So I asked him, what do you think about this version? He said, ma, if I am in the committee to review this abstract, I will just jump at this one. That kind of thing. So make it that it's so compelling that people have no choice. Even when there is no money, they write you that you're in the pool. In case money comes, they can consider it. That's the kind of thing you need to write. It's a sales tool. So make everything. You see how bananas are brought, how they put it, just banana. They just can call it a yellow fruit, not banana. Just to attract the people who are buying. Who is buying? Give it a name and describe it in a way that it meets their objective. That way they will follow you on that journey. So significance of the research project. In concise and engaging manner. It's not a time to copy and paste people's literature into the coherence. You have to put it in your own way, and the way it can be engaging, flowing from one to the other. Unfortunately, we don't have time to write. We would have come if we were to do a workshop. I would have told us to come with an idea as we're doing, everybody's writing and we're graduating and we're finished. But it's okay, if you understand what we are saying today, you can also start writing and finish. Clearly state the problem or question you want to address, the objectives of the study and the potential impact of your mind. Every research has a question. Sometimes we scientists, not everybody here is a scientist, we scientists is STEM, not just core science, medicine, they're all scientists. STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, medicine. So we think that we don't do research question. Most times people don't want to write research question. They say it's not there. Even if it's not there, it's implied. There is a question that every researcher answers. You attempt to answer. So think about your research question. Think about the problem that you want to solve. Are there people, so asking in the negative may be better for you to say women who are not privileged to do this may not do. So that would be, that may be your hypothesis. Then, are there, would they? So those questions can help you to be guided in listing your objective, which will be the actions that you take to actualize your goal. So all the actions you take are the objectives. Then the goal will be actualized when you take those actions. Methodology and approach. A detailed plan outlining how you intend to conduct that research. So the research with the community involving one, like I mentioned, can have a reconnaissance survey. Reconnaissance survey is a survey that you do and how you go, starting to the place, meeting the people, and the exits. That's the reconnaissance survey. So it may have a lot of social component, that maybe beyond you as a scientist, but we do it with experience. You become comfortable, you can do it. How you meet people you're going to work with. Like me, I work with soil, water, and air. So I may get to the community, I need them to allow me to work on their soil. It's not, maybe not their family land, but somehow it's a community, the community owns the land, whether it's in family, it doesn't matter. So there should be a mode of entry for a community, and you need to watch out for that. Make sure that you respect people's customs in going to them, for those who implement, who go to communities to work with them. So make sure you respect their customs. They need to sit on the floor. You don't sit on the floor. If sitting on the floor does not hurt you or your being, please sit on the floor. It doesn't cost us so much. Except you hurt your being. If you hurt your being, don't do it. But if it does not hurt your being and they sit on the floor in that community, please sit on the floor with them and have fun. You will enjoy, they give you information, native knowledge, we call traditional knowledge. They will give to you, you can infuse it into your research and you'll be very good. So make them part of it, make them understand the journey, where you're starting from, where you're heading to, and you'll be happy that you get it right. When I'm working with our local community in Akoda, they call me on phone to give me information. Maybe that an animal has eaten up my plant or something. They will become part of the project. They go to water it during the dry season, they go to water my plant. They'll call me, they want to water it. Is it tap water or this? You know, because they are interested. I've told them what I want to achieve and they're interested. I want to heal their land. So they help me to heal their land. The youth leader will call me to say there is problem. Two families are fighting. You don't come this week, I'll call you when you come. You know that kind of thing. So what do I need to do now that you're not coming? Tell me. I tell them they go there to do it. When I arrive, they come and mount sentry for me. They stay around to see that I'm not kidnapped. They just come around. When I call, I'm coming today with my students. Oh, so they keep walking around. And if they need to get me palm wine, or need to get me banana or something, it's very nice. In our body, they used to give me fish. So they give me fish and teach me about the mosquitoes, and you know, they teach me things. I learn history from them, and then I interpret some of the things that they are experiencing. So we have a shared, relationship that they feel is mutual. So they support me, I support them. Do not go like you want to extort. You hide information, I need this, you won't tell them all you want to. I just want to take a photo of this place. When they allow you inside, you start drawing lines on the floor, you need more. Don't do that. When they find out the suspicious starts, and throughout the project, they'll be suspecting you because you didn't declare what you want to do. Tell them it's not going to. Okay. Tell them it's not going to hurt you. So make sure you carry them with you. Then justification, clearly delineate the resources to require to execute that project successfully. So the personnel, the equipment, justify all of them. You can't say I have 5 researchers with me when you don't need them. If you need 3, make sure you justify why you need what you have stated that you are using. So justify each expense in terms of the necessity and contribution to the outcome of that project. So the broader impact is always very important. Beyond the immediate impact, what is the broader impact? You know that when I heal the soil, it can give security. So that's the broader impact. If people can be concentrated to farm on their lands, there can be peace because people are busy. If they are not busy because the soils have been polluted, they are going to look for either the politicians and their problems. So you can have a broader impact. So show them broader impact and they will back into your project. Evaluation and measurement have talked about that. Budgetary considerations have been dealing with that, how you do your budgeting. It's very important to do budgeting. You can also use Gantt charts, show the timeline. Gantt charts showing project activities, and when you will achieve them, and the order which they will follow. So that's what we do with Gantt chart. You can use Excel, simple Excel to do it. You can also use software to do them. Writing style is important, and presentation. Make sure that you write in simple language, and make sure that you format to what they ask you to follow. If they say Times New Roman, make sure you follow that. If they say font 12, make sure you font 12, because they are looking for who to kick out of the crowd that will apply for the grant. So make sure you're not kicked out, that you're there. If they say double spacing, make sure you format it double spacing. If they say no more than 15 pages, please take out the excesses. Not important. Review and revision. You can meet your mentors to review, but sometimes they still work in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, people complain. So make sure you trust the person to give them to review for you and give them ample time to make the review. Some persons have deadline in 3 days, that's when they will finish writing. So they give you, they want to hound on you to finish. I cannot. I tell them apologies, I cannot. Some of my former students, they call me from different universities. I say, I'm sorry, I disappoint you. So a call is released and you have 2 months to write. You will not write. You wait for the last week or last 2 weeks. You write, and then you want your reviewer to do your informal reviewer to do 2 days. It's not possible. People are very busy. So start on time, finish on time, have time to contact, say 3 persons, maybe 1 will agree, and they can help you to look at it with a second eye. You know, when they step out of that room, except you're very skilled, some people can read their work with a second eye. They come out from them and read like a professional, they will find out things. But if those you can trust, then I've said ahead the guidelines because that will disqualify you. If they say save the file as your surname underscore initial of your first name is the name of the file, it must be that way. Don't say I know more. Let me save it with the project title. They will not accept you. So if you identify funding opportunities, put them under the 3 I had mentioned earlier: government, private, or corporate. And make sure you know government is more broad because they are looking for the mandates. They say this is the agenda they are following. And if it's private, know that they want you to align with their mission. If it's corporate, they want you to align with their business interest. So always have that at the back of your mind. Exploring diverse funding opportunities, you can go to grant.gov. They have a lot of opportunities there. If you type grant.gov on your computer, you'll find a lot of opportunities there. You can also go to Foundation Directory Online FBO. You find a lot of calls for proposals, so you can do that. Professional associations, they are very important as societies. Try and belong to one if you don't. Not only the one in Nigeria, the global one. Like those in chemistry, biochemistry, Society for Environmental Toxicology and Chemistry, they always give out funding opportunities to their members. American Chemical Society, I'm also a member, so I've rode on them many times to go for a lot of training in the US and different places. So belong to them. You may not pay a lot. So sometimes our charges are $50 a year, and they brought it down to $20 for those from the developing countries. So you can pay this little amount and harvest a lot, but you need to be a member to access them. And you have a community of people you can network with and form collaboration when you need to do that. And again, it's important to see the guidelines review, that you review with specific eligibility. Am I qualified? Sometimes people tell me, oh, it's only for those who are less than 40 years. But you didn't read in details to find that those who have career breaks will be considered. So you can factor in and tell them that I'm 46, I'm 48, I'm 50, I'm 52. But I had career breaks. I went to the hospital, I had a major surgery. I stayed off work 1 year. I did, you can justify and become 40 and you'll be qualified. So spend time to read what they can tolerate or not. And then the deadlines that they give, I've given an example of us where 1 minute past midnight, we lost it. Pay close attention to the goals and priorities and consider restrictions and limitations. Sometimes those from low income countries only can apply. Sometimes we have been removed Nigeria from very undeveloped people because we have a lot of money. So you may consider whether you are qualified before you can send out your application. And then your research objectives are very important to align with this. So if you find alignments, as I hit that thing on the map, close alignments, closer opportunity for you to back that proposal. So interdisciplinary collaboration has helped me a lot, and it can help you. Sometimes people say my project area are not seeing funded in that. But if you do interdisciplinary, when I was in Nottingham, I was working with a chemical engineer. So I had to employ and deploy breaking technology that is for chemical engineers and physical chemists. So I used that for my technology and made a comparison. So you can do interdisciplinary and have more robust opportunity to access grants. So you want to be in your little closet and a gynecologist, that's the only thing you can do. No, you can open up from gynecology, you can do disease, you can find a middle ground between a disease and gynecology. You can also go to data science with gynecology. The data scientists can help you with the data in the area of gynecology. So before you know it, you have a lot of opportunities to apply and to win. And attend workshops and seminars and conferences. This one we're having very important workshop conferences. As you go to conferences, you find where the field is and where they are focusing on. So do not stay and say, I don't have money for conferences. Sometimes you pay for this conference, the other time you win back. I had attended a conference in Dallas in the US. I was at the airport when I got email that they considered me, and then they had given me $1,500 to support my coming. And that covered what I spent there. That was 2014. So because I met people as we're having tea break, which is, how did you get funded? I said, I didn't have funding, I sponsored myself to leave. Really? Oh, I paid for the call. When we were paying for hotel, they were choosing very big hotel. I chose a very modest one. So maybe they discuss with, you don't know who belongs to the higher mighty, maybe they talk with the people who have power, and then they got my email from the conference and wrote me and asked me for my rank. And before I got to Nigeria, I received the money in my first bank account. So you make effort, step out. You don't always wait for who carries you, nobody carries you now. Step out and you can find your feet. So navigating through the application process goes with understanding the application requirements, goes with preparing the required documents. Before I wrap up, I'd like to also mention that cover letter is very important. When you're writing cover letter, make sure you do a little bit of peacocking. When you write your address, the address of the person who is receiving, maybe the program officer. Do not write yes sir or ma'am. It shows that you have no knowledge of the grant and people who are calling. So make a little bit of inquiry about the grant call, who is to receive, who manages, their program officer. If you don't find their name, if you have their name, then his case is better than yes sir or ma'am. You don't even care whether it's a woman or a man. So write there is, be very specific. And then introduce yourself or your team, saying what you have done in the past in one sentence to show that you qualify. You want to show qualification, you want to show what you want to do and how you're qualified to do it. So you peacock a bit. Peacock means that the peacock shows their color, the display. So display what you're made of and calm down. Don't let it sound pride, Don't let pride come into it. Yeah, while you want to showcase what you got, you close up. That's why we call it peacocking. So you just open up and close. Okay? And then always offer them opportunity for an informational conversation. Would they like to speak more or know more about something in your project? You are available and tell them how they should reach you, whether by phone call or email or something on WhatsApp, and this is my WhatsApp number. That will be very helpful and kind. And then craft your compelling proposal. I will say this, it must be compelling, it must be convincing, because you have to put out what you want to do, why you want to do it, the justification that is very strong, and how it connects with their mandate. Remember, you help them to help you. If you don't help them to achieve their mission, they will not help you. So make that connection very clearly and how you will do that. And then budget preparation, make sure that the budget is realistic. It shouldn't be overly big. Don't inflate too much, but make sure you consider inflation. In case you're doing 2-year, 3-year project, next year should be higher than this year. You add inflation factor. You can Google it and find online. Use the factor and multiply this year's amount by the factor to have next year's amount and the other one. You can't put $10,000 this year, next year $10,000. They know that you are not in this world. Okay? Then collaborate with institution to know what they have, if they have equipment, they have rooms. If you want to have many meetings, you don't have to hire all the halls. You can say that you use the halls in your university free. They know that you're collaborating and using what is available. So that way you have institutional support. Complete the applications and double check before you submit that you have met all the things they say you should meet, and formatting before you submit. And then application monitoring. If you haven't got a response after a time, maybe they said applicants be contacted in 3 months, and 3 months gone by, you haven't had from them, you can do a gentle reminder you haven't got from them. But if they declare that only those chosen will be contacted, so there's no need contacting them. So always read to be sure. And keep touch with the program officers. You never can tell. There are some program officers I was inquiring about a grant and they have resigned their job, moved to new one. They wrote me, now I work with this, and I think you also be interested in what they are doing here. So create a relationship, establish and maintain it. Don't start relationship when you need them. Always ask people, how are you? Happy new month. Don't wait till when you need them, you start knocking on their door. They may not help you. So reviewers' feedback, you may look at it and make the project proposal better. Don't get tired, they hate me, that's why they wrote all of this. Maybe that time you receive it, take a deep breath and step out, forget that, save it. Maybe I used to highlight it and unread, even when I've read it, so I can come back to it. Already you're coming back to it, I know that it's not successful, so you're coming back with it, accepting it. So you become to read and understand what they're saying. Look at it side by side. If there's supervisors who could write proposals for me or who could teach me how to write. So it's the reviewer's comment that made me to become good. And then I started attending workshops on this. Yeah, so read and you see how beautiful it will make the work. See how the third eye is seeing the work. They are saying it's not aligning with that this approach will not realize the objective you have stated here. Now ask yourself, how is it not aligning? Or this is obsolete. Go to the internet and find out if your method is obsolete. You will see the new ones. You have become better by doing that. Then celebrate success. Hey, when you get it, I go out with my students, we sit down and eat ice cream or do whatever that we like doing, go to cinema and see a movie or winning a grant. Do that, celebrate success. Everybody is motivated to put in their best to see that the project works. But one thing is winning project, another is implementing. If you win, you don't implement, you may not get orders because your report will be weak. So when I wrote my report in my Polish visit, I got my recommendation. They said they're offering me $20,000 a day to implement my recommendation. So I now went to the US to do my recommendation. So you can actually put in enough to finish the work, not just celebrating success, but energized to do the work. So reflect on the experience, whether it was good or bad. Why did you fail if you did fail? Why did you pass if you did succeed? So you can learn lessons and apply that, you become a better. So by writing, you become better. Don't stop writing. All the time you should have a grant, all the time. Every year you must have a grant as a district. So you can combine little, big, medium, you can combine them, it must be big. You can get $1,000 grant, it's grant. You can get $500, I've got $500 before. So you can get it, doesn't matter. It can be just a grant to have a meeting that when I go to discuss with chemistry on diversity in chemistry. That's all, from Royal Society of Chemistry. So we had that meeting, got refreshment, and it was enough. So we had it. When they asked you how many grants we got, we will quote it. Somebody who had $100 million is one grant, $500 is one grant. So please don't neglect anyone. Seeking professional development. Always seek professional development. Spend time and money if you can. But now a lot of free development opportunities exist. Webinars are ongoing. People don't want to log in and listen. Listen and see what other people are saying from their own lens, and you will be better. So you maximize the success, turning donors into partners. Like I said, somebody who has moved from one donor agency to another one is carrying me along, telling me what they do in the new place. We have become partners. So keep relationship, yeah? So stay with your collaborators, your students. My former students are my collaborators. I keep touch with most of them. So try and do that. Don't use people and dump them. Keep a relationship. yeah, and never stop learning. Seek peer review always. Those are the ways you can maximize your success. I talked about diversified funding portfolio. That means different types to make up your grant. So I get camera from here, I get loudspeaker from here, I get money for refreshment from here, and they make me all a career person. So cultivate sustainable partnerships, invest in building long-term relationships with funding agencies, with collaborators. As you go for conferences and meet new people, give them your cards. Make your cards. Some of us think it's only when they appoint us into a position that will make cards. Make your business cards. You may not have opportunity to talk a lot about what you do. Hand your business card over. When people return from conferences, they pick up their cards and start looking and writing. They never can say, I want to do something with someone in Africa. And then I met one in a conference. They bring out your card and they can write to you. We are writing this. I don't know if you're interested. I've got a lot of emails like that. So please do your business card. It can be very cheap. I have mine. So please do as much as you can. And utilize the resources at your beck and call. Engage with the infrastructure. Sometimes they ask for accounts. We can pay in money. They don't want to pay the personal account. University can give you. They ask for if university takes any percentage for servicing the grant. You need to find out all of those from the institution. Sometimes they say they won't pay any service charge. So you can negotiate with the university. If they charge in my university, they charge. So you can negotiate. I need to get a grant. It's good for my career. But they say they won't pay. They can waive it. I have done it. You can waive it. Talk to your institution. They can waive it because they need you to also progress. As you're progressing, they are progressing. Stay current with the funding grant. Attend all the meetings and subscribe to newsletters of funders. So there they share new threads. They can include new people in those that they can fund, and you won't be aware. So please subscribe to their newsletters. And then instead acknowledge their achievements. Persist in process of funding, and when you have failed, dust your things and take the review why you failed. Sometimes not because it wasn't good, because there were many people. When we went to Rwanda in 2019, so they said they had money for only 20. We were 20 in Rwanda, but they selected us for 45. So how can they reduce by all the metrics that they set? All of us made it. So they decided to go online, those who had online presence, and that's how I made it to the 20. So there are other things that you can consider at the time. So make sure that you're there. Present yourself in the best way you can. And finally, I say that successful grant acquisition requires careful planning, from identifying the funding opportunity to crafting that compelling proposal, to submitting it, to building the relationship, to manage the funding. And then, grant writing is an iterative process. So that means you benefit from continuous learning. It's iterative in many forms. So this version, the other version, in my computer, you have many versions. So this version, it doesn't go. Another call, I say this is good. So I can just tweak it a little to align with the mission. And it's another version. So it's iterative. Success in grant writing means taking action. That means all of us are going to take action. So you don't succeed by imagining and wishing. So from this meeting we are having, we take action. Action is going to gov.org and all the places I told you to apply for the grants and get feedback. Engage with the funding agencies, seek collaborations, institutional collaboration, RSU and Uniport, RSU and Ignatius. So depending on what you want and what the funders want. Persisting in the pursuit of funding, I must get funding. No matter how I lose, I must get it. And you will get it. So securing grant funding is a competitive process and requires perseverance and determination. So you persevere no matter what, you fail, do again, and people are not willing to collaborate with you, go elsewhere. There are many people who are looking forward to working with you. So stay committed to your research goal. Celebrate achievements. Life is short. We need to enjoy as researchers. I want to thank you while I expect you to have thank
you very much. Please let's give that wonderful round of applause. Thank you very much, Professor Eucharia, Oluchi, earlier on said that we are going to make 3 tents today. One for Professor Eucharia, one for Professor Maduka.